with us.
Come talk with us.
Realest news, hard talk.
Real talk on the street, 919 FM.
News from the street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the Street 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. In the headlines, another COVID-19 death brings the national total to 75. Tourism and Culture Minister considers pushing Carnival to late 2021. The Supermarket Association expects the upcoming national budget may bring price increases. And internationally, Shell Oil Company plans to cut up to 9,000 jobs as oil demand slumps. And now the news in detail. Trinidad and Tobago continues to record daily COVID-19 deaths. The latest is an elderly woman with pre-existing health conditions. The national COVID-19 death toll is now 75. The Health Ministry, in its 10 a.m. update today, also stated that 54 additional cases have been recorded. 110 patients remain hospitalized, while 11 are in step-down transition facilities. Since the start of the pandemic, Trinidad and Tobago has recorded 4,517 cases. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Saturday had said that until the island's new infection cases decrease to 20 or less, the COVID-19 restrictions put in place to curb the spread of the virus will remain in place. Tourism and Culture Minister Randall Mitchell is weighing the possibility of staging Carnival 2021 later in the year. His comment comes after Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced that Carnival 2021 is cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mitchell says all is not yet lost. Together with stakeholders, they are looking at putting on the greatest show on earth virtually. Mitchell says any decision to host Carnival celebrations later next year would be made only on the advice and go-ahead of the Ministry of Health and its officials on the progress made and elimination of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a media release, the Tourism and Culture Minister said his ministry is working to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival remains at the forefront of the global carnival landscape. In other news, the Supermarket Association of Trinidad and Tobago believes price increases may be on the horizon depending on what the budget brings. The 2020-2021 fiscal package will be delivered by Finance Minister Com Imbert on October 5th. Speaking during a television interview this morning, President of the association Rajiv Dipti said customers would have to pay more depending on if new taxes are introduced, any shifts in forex availability, or possible erosion in the exchange rates. Dipti explained that these types of changes create shocks to prices as they create an increase in the cost of operation as well as have an impact on the cost of goods. Dipti stated that supermarkets are not to be blamed for most of the prices that have already been raised. He said these increases come from suppliers. He made it clear that supermarkets are not price makers but price takers. Internationally, energy giant Royal Dutch Shell today said it's planning to cut between 7,000 and 9,000 jobs worldwide by the end of 2022, following a collapse in the demand for oil and a subsequent slide in prices during the coronavirus pandemic. The company said around 1,500 employees have already agreed to take voluntary redundancy this year, and that it's looking at a raft of other areas where it can cut costs, such as travel, its use of contractors, and virtual working. Overall, it said it expects the cost-cutting measures to secure annual cost savings of between $2 billion and $2.5 billion by 2022. In June, oil giant rival BP said it was cutting around 10,000 jobs from its workforce to cope with the impact of the coronavirus. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the Street 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. Recapping the headlines, another COVID-19 death brings the national total to 75. Tourism and Culture Minister considers pushing Carnival to late 2021. The Supermarket Association expects the upcoming national budget may bring price increases, and internationally Shell Oil Company plans to cut up to 9,000 jobs as oil demand slumps. Stay tuned for sport news at 1 p.m., a news update at 2, and major news at 4. I am Vanessa Thomas. Do enjoy your afternoon.